Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. In case this is the first time we met, unlikely given the topic. But let me just introduce myself quickly. My name is Pauline Cheng. I'm a Bazi and Feng Shui practitioner. So, what's going on in this video? Someone requested some time ago that I give a demo on how I read a Bazi chart. So, now that all the annual topics are wrapped up, so I figured, why not? Bazi is a fascinating topic. Okay, simply because there is so much information packed into a single chart. There really isn't a please before we get even started, please understand that there isn't really a correct way to do a reading. Okay, it actually depends on what the client wants or needs at the moment. However, okay, regardless, in my view, your Bazi chart is trying to tell you a story. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Right. Firstly, a little bit on what is a Batsu chart. Simply put, this right here is a reflection of a person's subconscious behavioral patterns. Your gifts, your inclinations, your tendencies, your quirks, your eccentricities, your superpower. Okay. But do note that this does not take into account learned behavior, cultural influences, societal pressure. It doesn't take into account. That as a puzzle reader, your job is to figure it out. Okay. And before I go any further, a quick disclaimer here. My preferred puzzle chart plotter is the one provided by the J1 Mastery Academy for free. So in this free sharing, the Bazi chart and the terminologies that I use are copyrighted materials belonging to Dato Joy Yap and the J1 Mastery Academy. You want to learn more about what they offer, head on over to joyyap.com. Okay, so back to the discussion of what is a Bazi chart. Like I said, it's a reflection of your energy map. What Bazi is not is set in stone. All right, it's not set in stone. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, which leads us to the next question: Is my destiny carved in stone? Absolutely not. Okay, again, because a Bazi chart reflects the person's subconscious behavior. Therefore, we are interpreting this energy through character analysis or personality tendencies. So, yes, the natal Bazi chart never changes, right? That is like fixed. Okay. But what we can do is change how we react or respond to the chart, learning to understand and use the strengths of the chart in a way that fits our purpose. Okay. So, therefore, well, for me at least, the ideal puzzle consult is for the interpreter, which is the puzzle reader, to give ideas and suggestions on how to use the chart. That there is a conversation ongoing with the chart owner. That hey, listen, you've got this. What about this? What about it? Because feedback is required from the chart owner as well. So we want to use this information to our advantage. Otherwise, no idea for what. Okay, so like that's let me give you a simple example. Okay, let's say the chart has a characteristic kind of stubborn. Okay, stubborn is just an adjective. Okay, used the wrong way, you are an old stick in the mud, stuck in the rut. Okay, used the right way is a determined person who knows when not to back down and when to back down. All right, but still the same stubborn. Right. So as the Bazi reader, ideally my role is to give the client the awareness of these tendencies, because with awareness comes the possibility of control. So basically what it's saying is that now that from the client's perspective, oh, now that I know I have a choice, do I want to follow the natural inclinations of my chart, or should I find a strategy around it if that particular foible is causing some problems? So let's take another example, right? Okay. Between someone who could be a little bit miserly or stingy versus someone who has a more relaxed view of money. Okay, likes to spend money lah, basically. Okay. Again, There's no good or bad. It's not the party reader's job to judge. The only person who can judge good or bad is the owner of the chart. Okay, we can only point out that hey, there's this, and if it's taken to the extreme, it might mean this. So, right. So, someone who is miserly or stingy, chances are it would tend to always have more backup resources, right? Okay, because that's what they do. They like to keep resources. Okay, and for them, they find joy in it if they're okay with that. The downside is that this person likely will not experience as much of life, okay, as the other person. Then the question is the Mr. or Miss Miserly Stingy is okay with that? If they're okay with that, then who am I to judge? Okay. Similarly, for the one who is a bit relaxed when it comes to money, um, mm, of course, immediately might run into some financial issues every now and then, or rather, quite frequently. But on the other hand, this person experiences more in life, more of the joys in life, okay, or the more of the pains as well sometimes, but they have they have a deeper wealth of experiences. Okay, so is that a good thing, is that a bad thing? Chart owner judge, not I judge. Okay, so let's move on. Okay. At this juncture, very important. I need you to know that every party reader develops their own way of reading a chart. The party is an interpretive art, and these interpretations are different because of differences in our life experiences, worldviews, outlook in life, fatalistic, optimistic, conservative, liberal. Okay, after all, party readers are human too, you know. So basically, it differs because we simply think differently. Okay, so that's why you get different perspectives from different sharing. I know it's infuriating. Infuriating is like, you guys can't seem to agree with each other. So it's important for you to know that when we get to the demo part of this video, I'm sharing my way of reading a chart. Okay, it will be different from other practitioners for sure, which means that for you, okay, as someone who might be interested to get a party reading done, your job as a client is to find someone whom you resonate with. Okay, it sounds so obscure. Someone I resonate with. What does that mean? Again, simply put, someone whose worldview agrees with yours. Okay, so now how is a party reading formatted? As mentioned earlier, there are many ways to do a reading. The key to a good consultation, a reading, is to clearly identify what sort of information the client is looking for. What do you want to know? What do you intend to do with this information? In general, well, there are two ways to format a party reading. First is the natal chart reading, which is primarily about self discovery. Okay. The second is to use the energy of the chart to attain your objectives. Now, this part would primarily be done through the annual reading. Note it is your objectives, not the chart's objective. So, in this case, the best questions come in this form. How can I grow my career, take it to the next level? How can I expand my business by, say, 30% this year? 30% is doable. Okay. What can I do to develop something? Okay. These types of open ended questions lead to the best conversations and hopefully to the best results for you. Right. Don't ask limiting close ended questions. Is this good? Is this bad? Don't know. Okay. Everything in the principle of yin and yang, where there is good, there must be bad. Okay, so it's again, it's how we use these types of energies. Okay, so has party reading methods changed from the past? Yes, very much so. It needs to move with the times. It's while yes, we can venerate the past and we can even romanticize the past, but we have to admit that our today's society is very different from the society when 八字 was first created. All right. So in the past, people's lives hardly changes. So most people don't have as much control over their lives as we do now. Right. So in the past, if you were born to a farmer, well, chances are you would probably end up becoming a farmer. Worse, if you're born a woman, you got no options. Okay. So Bazi reading is technical, but it's also an art. So as consumers, we tend to put a lot of weight on accuracy. Uh, there's no point in being accurate. The best reading should be to find strategies that work for the client to help them make progress, to help them use it to their advantage. Like I said, it's not about me sitting in judgment of the chart. Okay, so a weakness can be used as a strength. A strength taken to its extreme can cause problems, right? So it all depends on how we use it. So having yammered on for so long, I think it's time I close this presentation and do a demo. But I just want to say, mind you, yeah, okay, this is an imaginary chart and therefore, which means an imaginary client. So I'll just pick up whatever information I can, okay? Because usually, when we have a live client in front of us, it's actually they are the ones guiding the conversation through their questions. Okay, so this is the my preferred plotter, the one um given to the, so let's just call this person lady, okay, because I want to do a woman's chart, right? Female. Okay. We'll change the I'm filming this obviously on April 24th, but I'm gonna change things around a little bit. Let's say 19 late 80s, early 90s, first week of luck pillar. Let's maintain April, but I don't want today, maybe around 21st. Okay. I'll even jig the time, let's say 11:30. Okay. So I'm gonna plot the chart. Okay. Now I have this foible. I like to print onto the OneNote. You will see later. I will share the OneNote later. Why? Because somebody, me, likes to scribble. Okay. So I seem to have lost my mouse. Okay. Okay. So now, let me just quickly share the OneNote screen instead, so then we can get started. Okay. I think in your screen it's a little bit small, so we're gonna make it slightly bigger so that it's easier for you to see. This is, after all, a demonstration. Okay, this should be quite comfortable for you. Right, cool. So first things first is, of course, well, when I can't speak for others again, but when I first open a chart, I start to tell myself a story. So this is a sin metal born in the month of wood. So therefore, this is technically a weak day master. This information is only for the party consultant to know. Please do not at the start of your consult immediately jump in and say you as a weekday master. Confirm, guaranteed you're going to plant negative seeds. That's not our job. Okay. So in terms of the 60 pillars, of which I had a whole series, I did all 60 pillars. So what we can say is that um, this earth snake, the 祭司, carries the gift of endurance. Okay. And this earth dragon carries the gift, this formidable mountain here, all right, carries the gift of nobility. And with the Sinhai is individualism. Okay. Sinhai tends to be very can be quite unique and individualistic, which is nice, right? And the wood horse, the Jiawu, indicates also carries the gift of ambitions. So this is pretty much right. People like to ask me is like, can I use this in the hour? And only its gift. All right. So here's why. Okay. There is this other way which actually nobody can teach. This other way, which is to visualize as a picture. Okay. Can't be taught. It's something developed as you do more charts. So in classes, there's no way anyone can kind of teach you, because we all imagine differently. Okay, that's just it. Okay, so we're gonna assume that there's this land, and let's call this lady's land. Okay, so this is lady's land. Okay, to will make the flat earthers happy by making it flat. Okay, because easy to draw lah. Okay, so now the earth snake is frequently seen as jade. Yeah. Okay, but because I find it hard to draw jade, so I would like to modify it a little bit. So see, this is earth here. Okay, this is earth, and it is dry earth. Okay, this is that it's hot dry earth, right? And there are apparently some rocky mountains. There's no plants. Okay, rocky mountains, just this year pillar. Okay, and there is this sharp boulders maybe, or metal hidden underneath. So we're gonna assume that the first this part is there is it's like a little bit like a desert. Okay, this is desert. Yeah. Pardon me, I can't draw one. Okay, so you people enter from here. So the first thing you see when you meet this chart is this desert. Okay, then comes the next one. Okay, I have this the month pillar, which is a Wuchen. Okay, so this month pillar, okay, is like this mountain range here. Okay, grandfather mountain, mother mountain, parent mountain, auntie mountain, uncle mountain, all the mountains are here. Okay, beyond that mountain range, okay, beyond this mountain range comes this. Okay, apparently it's hiding a lake. Inside this lake, it's not a very big lake, but there's a lake. Okay, inside this lake is a pearl hidden underneath. Okay, and last but not least, the jiawu right at the end is a burning tree. Okay, it's on fire. Okay, so now as a adventurer getting to know this person, you already know first you have to go through the arid um, desert. Then you have to climb the mountain. Then you reach the lake and you got to dive into the lake just to extract the pearl. So not a very easy person to get to know. Okay. So this is so the picture is as it is. Okay, cool. So what is the stand out in that picture? Let me just rub off my scribbles here. Okay. The stand up uh feature is this barrier here. Okay, this barrier here. Okay, so and you can clearly see this in the chart. Watch. This side is external, this side is internal. So external is primarily a lot of earth. Okay, so first thing you know is that this person external in the external part of their lives projects an aura of stability. Okay, and reliability. Okay, which is a little bit different from the internal world. Okay, because this is a weekday master, so it's a little bit the first conclusion that we can come to is there's a projection of strength because I feel vulnerable. Okay, so now this also gives us another piece of information, which is that with Wu Earth predominant with the Earth predominant in the chart, a lot of this person's decision making is centered around safety and security as well. Okay, so that's all we need to know at the moment, that this person values safety and security, and it gives a lot of weightage to safety and security when it comes to their decision making system. So we need to understand then because we're trying to understand the psyche of the person without judgment. So we want to understand what led to this, because wanting safety and security, cool, but there are many reasons. Some people maybe just naturally inclined. For some people, perhaps there is some trauma involved. So we're gonna examine the early childhood, because the year pillar now in this case can actually represent this early childhood. So now, first things first, the IR, indirect resource. Okay, when there's indirect resource in the year, tells us that the this person very likely comes from a family that is not quite well to do, right? It's not it's a family that struggles to put to get by almost. I mean, I'm not saying that, don't straight away say they live below the poverty line, for heaven's sake, but it wasn't easy. There sometimes, well, I'm sure they had enough food, but certain luxuries they may have to go without, because with IR in the year, that's usually the indication. More, okay, because this is, remember, yeah, this is the weekday master. Okay, more, okay, the mom, because for a woman the indirect resource is the mom. Okay, the mom plays a big role from this lady's chart. Mom plays a very big role. So now already you can ask the first question. Okay, tell me about your mom. Chances are tears will start to come, right? Because it, from this chart, in this case, because the IR is favorable, it was mom who played the critical role in helping the family move ahead. Okay, so now, is there trauma? Yes, there is, because this guy clash here. Okay, so when this guy clash here is saying that I reject. What do I reject? I don't want my past to happen again. I don't want my childhood to happen again. Or very simply put, I don't want my mom's life. I don't want to walk in my mom's life. The generational trauma ends with me, is what this chart is saying. Okay. So in order to overcome that, what this person did was she managed to educate herself. This is fantastic. So at this point, we can, as the consultant, you can say, but listen, okay, with your mom's help and with your own determination, you managed to educate yourself. I know it wasn't easy, okay, because this is a very strong direct resource. So it actually points to having a high intellectual capacity. Okay. So in my generation, this would typically, the story would be, I was the first in my family to graduate from university, that kind of stuff. Right. So now in the 30s, this person typically would have, because this is a resource structure chart, typically would have found a career whereby uh because high resource structure, they prefer to be a bit more behind the scenes. So whereby they are like providing administrative support, operational support, sometimes even research support, that kind of stuff, right? So at this point again, right, it's the time to ask the client, are you happy with this? Obviously they come for consult, but to consult me, obviously not happy lah. So our job is to, why not happy? Okay. Now, two things. When the wood sorry, when the earth energy is so predominant, like in this chart, okay, it traps. It's like this sin metal is buried underneath the metal, I mean, underneath the earth. Okay, is buried underneath. So the qualities of the sin metal cannot uh cannot manifest. Okay, and oh, just from a technical Bazi point of view, right? I just want to share that when we have direct resource and indirect resource on the heavenly stems together like this. Okay. Person presents as a little bit eccentric. Okay. And Okay, a little bit eccentric, and like the picture shows, a little bit hard to know. Okay, why? Because the right resource is left brain, and the indirect resource is right brain. So basically can't decide which brain to use, so can lead to a fair bit of dithering, because it's like first I think, then I feel, I think, then I feel, dither dilly dally. So with this chart, decision making is a little bit slow, which can present as a challenge in a party consult, because you can't force them to make a immediate decision, so we have to give options and say, I usually going to reconsider. Okay, so now what happens is this: when I have so much earth in the chart, the qualities of the sin metal doesn't really shine through. So but the thing is, I'm still a sin metal. No matter that I present as a Wu earth, I'm still a sin metal. So this sin metal okay, sin metal day masters, at the end of the day, we like to joke that they are, a little bit attention seeking and stuff like that, but actually no. The real motivator for a sin metal is respect. Okay, I want respect. When I don't get that respect, I crave this respect. It doesn't have to be adulation. They want respect. They want credit where credit is due. Okay, so now if it's hidden inside, probably will not be happy. It's like, the client will be saying, yeah, but is this it for the rest of my life, playing a supporting role? Okay, so then that is when we say, as the party consultant, your job is to paint a bigger picture. But what if there is a way that you can use this chart's energy to still play the supporting role, but in a bigger arena, in a better arena? Then this person will go, ooh, okay, tell me how. Okay, so this one in the month pillar, this is the where the hidden talents are. Okay, so okay, again, sorry, I have two mouse running, and sometimes the computer is not cross-handed like me, so I need to remove this first. All right, so now apparently you can talking again to the client, right? You can use this chart to provide information support to help with strategy making or policy making. Would that would that work for you? And then going like, oh, okay. And then you just sweeten the deal, right? Maybe in the future you can have your own business running a research consultancy. There are companies like that. Companies I know of. I have a client whose main business is she's engaged by government agencies around the world to do research and to present the research and therefore help create policy, right? Of course, she's primarily in the US, so a lot of her clients are government agencies in the US. There are people doing like that. This is actually the power behind the power behind the throne. Okay, this is the one that is providing the information, the hard data. Okay, helping to use the data in order to do something. So now, by now, this person will be going like, okay, I am interested, right? Tell me more. What can I do? Okay. So now, in order to do that, okay, the first thing is I want to start to pull these out. I need to dig into this mountain. Okay. So there are two ways that I can dig this mountain. Of course, I can directly just use the direct wealth and just, but if this is a mountain and then you plonk a tree on it and it starts digging in, this is called painful. Yeah. Okay. If something is hard and painful, chances are it's not sustainable. So I need to find a slightly easier way. So another way would be I loosen the soil by irrigating it, which means I want to use water. Okay. So in terms of water, then where do I find the water? Okay. So there's water here, and again there's water here. Okay. Between these two, I would choose this rainwater hurting officer. for three reasons. Number one, if first of all, I'm already trying to dig this eating god here. The Koi water is inside a graveyard. Very hard to dig out. Okay, and plus once you manage to dig out the Koi water, go and combine with the wood earth, become fire, then all your efforts for nothing. And secondly, yes, if you're already thinking ahead of me, thank you. Right, currently in the hurting officer, because this hurting officer is kind of weak in the chart. So when this person is in the hurting officer luck pillar, this is said that, oh, here comes the opportunity, let's do something about it. Okay, so then of course you can't just tell the person, okay, you use your hurting officer. The poor client don't know parts will be going like, what? Okay, so now with the hurting officer, again, guys, when it comes to consults, I really try to keep the first moves as basic as possible. Okay, you can't tell someone to say straight away, oi, you go and ask Tony Robbins to let you share his stage. You know, even if Tony Robbins agree, the fellow will ping sun. They will will be so stressed. Okay, they won't do it. So it's to be make it as small as possible. So hurting officer basically is, hey, so can you go and learn some sales techniques? Learn to be convincing. That's one way. Okay. Another way is hurting officer is sexy. Okay. So can you expose yes, that's a nice word. Okay, hurting officer likes to expose themselves. Joke, sorry. Okay, so can you go and learn or gain some experience in how to make data sexy. Okay, that means instead, because direct resource style of teaching is to regurgitate. So direct resource style of presentation sometimes can send all of us to, okay. So so I need to make it a little bit more attractive. I make it more bite size. Okay, so that doesn't matter you think it's dumb. What's important is the audience can understand. Okay, so make it sexy. Or could you go and learn different ways to communicate? Okay, or had different ways to talk to different types of people instead of just spewing facts like a robot, because that's not fun. Okay, so so the person says, okay, I can try some of these, right? And so then the client might ask you, where can I do it? Okay, or where or when should I do it? Okay, see, now currently hurting officer luck pillar with the water monkey luck pillar. Okay, so this monkey already here is a harm. So that's how we know that there is possible action, because the person already feeling dissatisfaction. Okay, so note, there are, so now we tell the clients there are two options open to you. Number one is there is a tree harmony here. Okay. You go to your boss and you ask for opportunities whereby you can be a part of the presentation team, where you get a chance to present certain parts of the information to others, or where you can gain some experience in the sales negotiations, that kind of stuff. But please take note, 2024, the dragon is in self punishment. So from her perspective, very likely the boss will say no, because this one is having control issues, which means that this is a lousy boss. Okay, so need to get rid of this boss. So anyway, so likely will say no. So we would suggest that you make this in as unthreatening as possible. It's like, boss, I've been working for that kind of stuff. Make it unthreatening, and for heaven's sake, don't do it in April lah, because April is the dragon month. Okay, do it in May. Okay, so that is one way, which is actually the most comfortable way, because this person is it's familiar grounds. I already know my industry. I'm not learning something new and trying to apply it. And tree harmony, basically, because why I say join other people is because it's tree harmony is collaborative in nature. It's multiple parties. Okay, so once you start to gain some experience, a taste of how to present that kind of stuff, then then here is another opportunity. The monkey and the snake has a combination. So what you can do is you can seek out either um platforms, all right? There's a plethora of it now. Platforms where you get to go and share your knowledge. You don't straight up tell the client you need to start a YouTube channel lah. Sure will end the Zoom call, end of story. Okay. So so we would ask the client like, listen, maybe you can one immediate solution could be, if there's still such a thing called the Toastmasters, then something like that. Okay, where you get to be you get to learn, you get to observe, and you get to try a little bit on your own. Now in all this, because understand that hurting officer for this person is unfavorable, output is unfavorable for a weekday master, which means simply that I don't like it. So in all this, then there at this point of the conversation, there would be, we will try to preempt, right? Listen, it's not going to be easy. I cannot promise you that you will like it, but it's a skill that is that will be useful for you. So during times when you feel like you're gonna give up, what you're gonna say to yourself, that kind of stuff, right? So now, so we have because when we have this um once we start doing this for the hurting officer, then with training the hurting officer, then eventually the direct wealth, where water grows wood ma, so the direct wealth grow, her value, ladies value will tend to grow. So in 2024, then we can, if she wants, then we can morph into the annual reading, the 2024 reading, where you can say that, okay, look, Sin Metal Day Master sees a direct wealthier, because again it's Chen. Okay, I see a direct wealthier. So direct wealthier typically needs to be a little bit hardworking. For a Sin Metal, direct wealth means creating a system, okay, where money is concerned. So this year focus on um, your wealth accumulation, focus on creating a system whereby you can increase your value, for example, okay, because direct wealth is value. And the biggest opportunities for you is that this year is actually two biggest opportunities, whether you want it or not. Okay, is the opportunity to enhance your social or professional network. Okay, but by doing all this, you get to know more people gets to know you, it's a good thing. And enhancing your own personal reputation in the business, because visibility has increased. So this is the biggest opportunity, and if you are going into flow, you will find that results comes a little bit easier. Okay, so again, in a Bazi consult, um we cannot really we cannot guarantee. Okay, let's put it this way. Okay, don't ask me, if I do this, I you guarantee I will succeed. Tai lo cannot lah. Okay, so now a career is done. So then this person say, can you tell me about relationships? Now this one interesting. Okay, FYI, okay, guys, I don't like to do relationship consults. Okay, please. Okay, so now, but anyway, I can do it. So okay, so again, this um this clash here is the rainwater kind of clashing to the Bing fire. So Bing fire to this chart is the direct officer. So I counter already. Okay, that's the barrier out. Okay, so why is there a barrier? Again, the year represents the childhood. So when the year represents this remember we already unpacked certain trauma. Okay, that and we've come to the conclusion that she lady rejects her mom's lifestyle, right? So now this is the next part. This one, guys, don't FOMO, yeah. This is like kind of like slightly advanced use. Okay, we use this technique called a switching palace, and I want to examine the uh the father star, because straight away from lady's perspective, father star in graveyard means the father is a distant figure. She doesn't really know him. In an Asian context, this is normal because the father is out there working, and we don't know them as humans, so they just this, so from her perspective, from lady's perspective, this we put a yi wood here. Okay, and now the entire chart will change. This is direct wealth, this is direct wealth, okay, this is indirect wealth, and this is hurting officer now. Okay, so watch. Okay, from her perspective, her father presents to her in this picture a remote, this is a wealth structure chart, yeah, and a strong day master is authoritarian. Okay. And this is basically the type of father who says, do as I say, not as I do. Okay. So, but from lady's Bazi chart showed that her childhood, there was lack. Okay. There was lack. But father's chart full of well star. Oh, okay. This is the well star a bit too strong, a bit too much. And this is where it gets interesting. Okay, apparently, from lady's perspective, again, it's her chart. Okay, her father's, this is rock wealth, tends to have a speculative mindset, which is driven by this is eating god, dreamer. Okay, dreamer. And in that, now this one is indirect wealth, which means always looking for shortcuts. So because of the father's actions, um, the family probably went through quite a fair bit of ups and downs. Ups and downs. There will be times where everything is good, but because the father is has this speculative streak to him, so there is a lack, and then so on and so forth. So if you can unpack to this level, by which time the client would have fainted, and you have to go, hello, hello, can you wake up? Okay, so never mind. So now this, the we first need to understand your parents is your parents, it's not you. Okay, so now what we can do is we can for her relationship, what we can do is first of all, okay, this is rainwater inside this spouse pillar, these two stars, right? This rainwater already, we're asking her to use it. Okay, so that when you develop this, then you can um you will, chances are it will bring you this type of people. Okay, I can't get her to go to hurting officer types of places, because it's the hurting officer type, meeting someone in a hurting officer type of people these days rarely leads to long-term relationship, rarely. Okay, the more stable one is this direct wealth, which is you find someone through your hobbies, because the hour pillar can represent hobby. So someone who shares the same interests, who share the same hobby, so that instantly there is already a link between the two person. Okay, so so this is the relationship, and it just so happens, guess what, 2024 is Jia Wood. So if you can morph this learning to speak, learning to talk into this, into something that is social, that is a hobby for you, that you enjoy, chances are you will meet more new people, and among them, keep your eyes peeled, someone is might be interested in you, or there is a connection, so be open to it. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for a demonstration, because I don't have a client in front of me. Okay, so I think I've yammered on long enough, almost an hour. Okay, so this again, guys, I just want to share that you please, this is just my way of doing a Batsu consult. It's not other people's way. Other practitioners will have their own methods. Nobody is right, nobody is wrong. The one who is right for you is the one whom you resonate most with, which means that you agree with their point of view, you agree with those the both of you should have this almost like similar experiences, that kind of stuff. Okay. So, and not every party reading is like this demonstration. Again, all right. If I've done demonstrations, I'm sorry, I've done consults where it's primarily focused on the natal chart because the person wants to understand themselves, which is great. I've also done consults. This usually these are business owners, whereby I just jump past the natal chart and just go straight into the annual energy, because usually business owners don't have time to go and talk about this self discovery and all that. I got no time lah. Just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. Okay. It doesn't matter whether I like it or not, I'll do it. So usually it's very different mindsets. So again, as the client, it's for you to guide. It's what you need, it's what you want. All right. So that's pretty much a demonstration. I think there would be some information that I don't pick up for sure. Okay, because without a client guiding us, then I'm just making up a client. So but yeah, agree with me, but it's so fascinating, right, makes you want to sign up for the JY class, right? Haha, see. Okay, so anyway, I'm kidding. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you're still watching after the point where I say this is a sin metal born in the season of wood, okay, thank you very much for your attention. I know it's been kind of long. Okay, it's about 45 minutes, one of the longest videos I've ever created. Okay, so with that, all right, I just want to say again, thank you for watching. I hope you found value. I hope you enjoyed this sharing. It was my pleasure to do it for you. And if you are looking for if you're looking for a consult to do self discovery, well, hey, I'm available. You can contact me in my links, which is in the video description. Okay, so until I see you next time. All right, thank you for watching, and you have a great day ahead. Okay, bye.